Alright guys, so today we are going to have a video on how to fly helicopters in Sunkenland and Rust. It is one of my favorite things to do in both of these games. I've hopped into servers just to fly around aimlessly. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love it, and it 100% is the best way to travel around in both games. But controls are a little bit tricky at first. The controls for Rust and Sunkenland are both the same. Rust is a little bit more touchy, but Sunkenland is, same control scheme. The main thing that people have a problem with is what to do with the mouse, right? You've got to control the mouse, and you've got to control with the keyboard, the WASD. So I'm going to use this handy-dandy helicopter right here to show you how to do this. So imagine that my hand is on the mouse right now, right? Your hand is on the mouse. Put your hand on top of the head, whatever it takes to visualize this. So when you push the mouse forward, it's going to tip your helicopter forward. The same thing with pulling it back, and then left to right, you're going to get a roll that happens with the helicopter. A thing to keep in mind is when you're using A and D to rotate like this, the helicopter is going to want to slip. So it's more pronounced in Sunkenland than in Rust. But it is the same, more or less the same physics. So when you go to use your A key to turn to the left, the helicopter is going to want to roll to the left. So you want to keep moving your mouse as you're turning to the left. And then the same thing goes for the right. When you turn to the right, the helicopter is going to want to roll. So you want to move the mouse to counteract that. But the thing to keep in mind is the mouse is what keeps you pointed upright. WASD have nothing to do with pointing upright. So the mouse will keep you upright. So let's jump right into Sunkenland, and then I'll go over Rust afterwards. Okay, so we'll cover Sunkenland first. This is the helicopter. One of the key differences is it has storage over on the other side over here, which is fantastic. And you drive from the front as opposed to the back in Rust. So I'm going to hop on. And when you get onto it, the motor starts immediately. You don't have to press anything. As long as you're not touching the controls, you're not going to go anywhere. So to take off, just hold W. Do not move your mouse. Just hold W. Once you get enough altitude, you can start moving your mouse around. So here's forward, here's left, here's right. So like I said, and I'm going to let off W here so we don't keep on going up, and I'm just going to keep bouncing off of that to hold a hover. But you have move your mouse to the left, you tilt to the left. Move your mouse to the right, you tilt to the right. Forward is forward, backward is backward. W will always make you go up in relation to where the helicopter blades are. So if you hold W, you go up. Now, if you're tilted way forward, I'm going to move my mouse way forward, and you hit W, you're going to go forward because it's up in relation to the blade. So to fly forward, you want to find a happy spot here, and we're going to ignore the video artifacts. If you're holding W while you're flying, you're going to keep on going forward. And then you can move your mouse back, and you'll gain altitude, but you'll no longer be moving forward as quickly. And you can do the same thing for flying backwards, though it's generally not suggested, because you can't see what's coming up from behind you. Now landing with this, and you can see here, I'm holding D to go to the right, and then it's A to go to the left. But you see how the helicopter rotates, it rolls as you do that. You need to counteract that with your mouse. So I'm going to hold W again. We're going to move back towards home. I'm going to move forward with the mouse. And then that will hold us. And you just keep holding W. You're not going to lose anything if you just keep holding W. Unless you're upside down. Then you're probably going to have a bad time. Now we're approaching the base, so for landing, we're going to come in, and I'm just feathering W. I'll hold W for a half second and then let it idle for a few seconds. We're going to eyeball a good spot to land. Looks like right there's a good spot to land. and I'm moving my mouse. I'm not hitting anything on the keyboard. Moving my mouse. I'm going to hit W again. And W, just to smooth it out. And we're on the ground. So that's not so bad. You can fly a helicopter in Sunkenland. Now we move on to Rust. Alright, and now for Rust, here we have the beautiful minicopter. You've got to remember to put fuel in the minicopter. And then we're going to mount, and I've got to get used to new controls because I've been playing Sunkenland. Now, here's one of the key differences when it comes to flying in Rust, is the helicopter stays off when you jump onto it. As soon as you hit the W key, it fires up the engine. At that point in time, be ready to fly. I'm not touching controls right now. It's going to sit here sort of in a hover. If you're on ground that's level, it's not a big deal. However, if you are on a hill, be ready to fly as soon as that motor starts up. So I'm going to hold W, just like in Sunkenland, and I'm not going to touch anything else. You can see we're tipping off to the side more. But as long as I'm not next to a mountain, I'm fine. I'm still not going to touch anything. Now we're going to correct to level. We're going to move to the right with the mouse. And you can see the horizon there. You want that level. And now we're moving backwards a little bit. I'm going to move forward a little bit, and that puts us straight into a hover. Now, if we want to move forward from this hover, we're going to push forward with the mouse. We're going to go forward. And you're going to notice it sinks. After a little bit of time, you're going to want to pull back just slowly. Now, this does have a delay. So, if you pull back fast, it's going to keep on moving for a little bit. It will take the whole action. If you move your mouse a lot, it's going to move the helicopter a lot over a slow period of time. So keep that in mind. Then we get the turning issues. If you hit A to turn left, you're going to see the helicopter dives to the right. So counteract that by moving the mouse to the left. Same thing with turning to the right. Turn to the right with D, dives off, counteract that. So focus with your steering on your hand, or your left hand, or I guess your right hand if you're a lefty, and keep your mouse keeping everything level. So you can go into a turn like this and just keep moving your mouse to the right to counteract it. And then the same thing with turn to the left. If you want to go forward, you go forward. And then you always wait a little bit. After you put some input in, you want to wait a few seconds. Landing, just the same thing. I am not holding W at all right now, so I'm not moving forward. Now, as soon as I hold W while I'm tilted forward, it's going to move me forward. But keep yourself leveled. Don't make quick movements. I'm going to land right on top of that rock. Well, we can land on top of this rock too. That seems more exciting. But, same thing. Standard approach. A thing to keep in mind though, if you want to, if you hold left control, it'll stick you to the ground. And then you can drive around with WASD. As soon as you let go of control, you'll start taking off again. But that's a good way to land. If you're coming in nice and slow, which I'm going to have to, you can see the fuel's running out. I'm going to hold the control button, and it'll stick us to the ground. Otherwise, if I want to, we'll do this. Oh no, I'm going to run out of fuel. I'm going to run out of fuel. You will die if you crash in this. Just let her go out of fuel. Keep your finger on the space bar. Look how long. There it goes. I jump off. I'm fine. Helicopter does a wheelie. But that covers the Rust end of things. But yeah, that's the extent of it. If you have anything else you'd like me to teach you how to do, I do play. I've got like 2,000 hours into Rust. I'm not good at it, but I've got 2,000 hours into Rust. I do want to make a couple more videos, but that'll come in time. I'm pretty lazy. But thank you for checking this out. I will see you in the next one.